Well, Lindsay, how did the first season in a new league compare, and was it any different than what you expected?
Well, we won a regular season championship, so it compared favorably, I guess. The travel was, it was just intense in a way that I think you can't completely prepare for. And on the flip side of it, the exposure, the benefits, the crowds, the arenas we played in were all, I think, better than we could have hoped for.
In terms of results during the regular season and that run, an unbelievable run in your first year, what were you most proud of?
I think just the consistency of excellence it takes to go, 17-1 or whatever we did in the Big Ten. I think the focus of our players to be able to just be where their feet were. When I mentioned the travel, they really didn't react. They were so good at napping when it was time to nap and sleeping when it was time to sleep and being prepared for film or game time. And when that ball went up, they were ready to go. And it was not for a lack of competition. I mean, the conference was incredibly strong. We got everybody's best crowd. We got everybody's best shot. And I think I was most proud of the consistency of excellence it took for our players to come in and prove themselves night in and night out.
When you reflect and the team reflects on the postseason, what do you think about, and how do you kind of avoid thinking about the what-if scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've all even fully processed JuJu's injury. And it's interesting, I had a conversation with her the other day when she was just in the training room rehabbing, and she actually looked at me and said, "Coach, it wasn't our time. It's going to be our time, but it wasn't." And I was like, the wisdom of a 19-year-old is pretty amazing. I obviously feel for her. You do all that to get there, you get to the NCAA tournament, and you get hurt. And for our team, obviously, it changed us. And at the same time, I think your story is your story. And I thought the way that our team rallied around her, for each other, for themselves, was pretty impressive. I thought, we did not go down without a fight. It didn't look the way that we expected it to at the end in terms of the personnel, but I think everyone was proud of the way that our team competed. And I said this afterwards, we lost at the same point to the same opponent in the Elite Eight to UConn, and yet I don't think anyone would think that we didn't push our program forward in a lot of different ways. And, our time will come, I think, to take that next step, but I'm very proud of the things that we did this past season.
How is JuJu, both mentally and physically?
She's doing great. She's an incredibly mentally tough person. I think that, she loves to hoop and she loves basketball. And so there's just no way around that, right? That's going to be taken away for a while. But, I think those who are great because they know how to focus and attack goals, and she'll do that in rehab. And we certainly will put a support system around her to make sure she's not only able to navigate what the next several months will bring, but that she's able to thrive in it and end up better in a lot of different ways that are maybe unseen at this point.
What kind of conversations have you had with her? What can you share about what that immediate and perhaps long-term future entails for her?
Oh, I mean, we haven't talked too much about the long-term future. I think you just try and help, a young person through the moment. I think in the moment, that first couple of days, where it was just about supporting, letting her grieve in the way that was appropriate, and then letting her see also that there is kind of next steps and life after the injury, and I think she's embracing that. And we'll tackle each hill as it comes. Won't rush her through anything. She has the best family around her. She's got a great medical team, and each step as it comes, we'll be there to help her navigate it. But I'm not too worried about her ability to do so.
Your roster saw a lot of changes. Then again, almost every roster in the Big Ten and every roster in the country sees a lot of changes right now. So, as a head coach, how do you prepare for that? Because it is not an if it happens now, it is a when it happens, and how much does it happen to me? Yeah,
I mean, our front court is playing in the WNBA. That's a pretty neat, thing, and it makes you, eager to replace that or next person to step up. But, we knew we were graduating some really significant people. And then obviously we didn't expect JuJu to get hurt. We didn't, expect some of the departures. But like you said, as coaches now, we put our GM hat on. We put our flexibility on, our X's and O's flexibility. I spent some time, with the WNBA team the last couple of weeks just watching what they do in various scenarios. We feel really excited about the transfers that we've brought in. We feel really excited about our returners. And, we got a pretty darn good incoming freshman, the number one, kid in the recruiting class coming in. So I think we'll have to reinvent ourselves a little bit, but I think it'll be exciting.
I always find it interesting when we get Big Ten to Big Ten transfers, maybe even more interesting when we get crosstown transfers like London Jones, who comes over from UCLA, obviously a player who is known for her shooting ability. If she's able to shoot it the way that she can shoot it, what does that do for you in terms of spacing and what you can do offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I've known London since like 6th grade. Recruited her as well before I went to the Cavs, and we joke about her coming across town now. I think she's more than just a shooter. That's what she did as part of her highly successful program at UCLA, and I think just creating a little space for her on the floor to kind of operate and cook off the dribble a little bit, to use her shooting ability. I think it just opens up space and creativity on the floor for us, and I think she's gonna fit right in.
Speaking of LA, you and I spoke when we sat here a year ago about the pressure that was on both your program and Corey's program to be the faces of not just this conference, but two of the faces of women's college basketball, and obviously lived up to that last year. What's it been like to be a coach in this city with these two programs competing at the highest level? It's
been unbelievable. I mean, it really has been beyond cool. I think for those of us who've been on the West Coast and we were told that you can't get fans in LA, or that, women's basketball is kind of a side act or something. To be part of what we've been a part of is beyond words. It's one thing to have expectations. It's another thing to deliver on that. And from the players on both sides of that rivalry, stepping up, from the fans coming out, the celebrities, primetime TV. We came in and won a lot of games in this conference, which is a point of pride, but also I think had some really epic battles against one another, and that's what a rivalry is built on. And it's an incredible time for LA basketball, and it's something I hope will continue.
Do you ever catch yourself wondering what on earth is going on when you look down the sidelines and you see dozens of celebrities and Snoop Dogg sitting in the front row and a bunch of other people that are there strictly to watch USC women's basketball? Yeah. They are there because it is the show in town that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I saw Snoop come out in his custom, USC outfit. I was like, what is my life right now? This is crazy. I mean, all of the celebrities, it's really wild. It's neat. I mean, we could go down the list of all the impactful people that have come, but definitely something that we don't take for granted, and our players get excited, and I think our coaching staff was like, we kind of can't believe this is where we are, but here we are, and I think it's here to stay, and it speaks to women's basketball in general, but particularly the star power on our team and in this city, and it's really fun.
I do want to finish there with the popularity of women's basketball and how proud you are to be part of this generation that has completely changed what the perception of this sport is and what it can be in the future.
Yeah, I mean, there are no words. We mentioned, our wins in the Big Ten. We did have one loss, and is at Iowa, but that atmosphere, around Caitlin's return was something special. We had, sellouts on the road because of JuJu and our team coming into town. To be at the epicenter of it, it's humbling, it's super cool. I want to do everything in my power to continue to help grow it and push forward in this kind of really neat era. But we've always had stories in women's basketball, always had great players and personalities, but now there's a spotlight on it and the momentum is just getting going. So it's neat to be right here in the center of it.